All right. Welcome back. And I'll do the recap this time and next time, and then I'll toss it back to you all. This might be a longer adventure because it is kind of a sandbox. It's actually got a hex crawl, hex map, and everything to explore, although you are running out of time also. The last time you all had defeated the Odonta Tyrannus, the large, the world monster, and you were helping Lithrazir, the sorceress, gather together the components that she needed to complete the magic ring, and she had entered into a demonic pact but the catch of the pact was if she could get the ring complete before time was up, that she would be free from the pact, this Faustian bargain. Unfortunately, she died, and the demon knew that this would happen. And so she, in her ghostly state, the threads of destiny came together and you found her hut. And she's been sending you via portal magic on adventures through space and time to gather the components. And the last component was to get the cerebral brain fluid of the Odonta Tyrannus, which had been slumbering for 100 years. And you slew the thing and took it. But in the process of doing that, something pulled you out as you used the magical chime. And by the way, you now have how many uses? How many times can you get back to the swamp? I can't remember.
3 or 2? I don't remember.
Yeah, you said one. The one where we got waylaid didn't count, so I think it's like 3.
3, yeah. Okay, so
Alex, if you had an idea, it's less. That's all I know.
I'm going to say that one of the gifts of this is that you can make it back to the swamp those 3 times, and you can also make it back to the Shudder Mountains 3 times, to wherever this brings you in the Shudder Mountains. So that is a tool that you have, is you can leave and make it back to the endless swamp of Aerth. Anyways, at the end of this, Euelis, your friend, ascends to become an Archon of Justicia, and sheds his mortal coil. And he warns you that where you're going, that the host of chaos has not forgotten your betrayal at the court of the court of chaos, and all of the times that you have foiled their plans, defeating the rise of the Chaos Lord Molon. And that even now they seek to both destroy you and obtain an object called the Luhsaal Wheel, which is a powerful magical artifact which can apparently even steer your Spelljammer and lift it out of the swamp, and you can take back to the stars. And so now you're going through the portal, and I'll describe where you are.
Splendid.
Actually, I don't want to start here. When you go through the portal, you find yourself in a beautiful countryside with old hills and a smoky, misty layer that lays in between them. There are cottages and houses that are homey and quaint, and smoke rises from them among these hollers. And you can hear the distant sound of music making in these in the hollers off in the distance. But it seems that this portal has transported you just outside of a cave. It says a hill of rocky earth overgrown with yellow grass rises before you. On the southern face of the hill, there's evidence of past rock slides. Piles of stone ranging in size from tiny pebbles to man-sized boulders lie in heaps at the base of the hill. despite the mass of haphazard stones. A shallow cavity is visible behind the rocky pile. A slab of stone, obviously worked by tools in the shape suggesting a door, stands at the back of the depression. And oh, by the way, with Euelis gone, you have brought your boatswain along. Your bowsman, from that has been guarding and whipping the crew into shape. Grimble, you want to introduce yourself?
Good day. My name's Grimble. I've been keeping discipline upon your ship. No easy task, but I'll add.
What's Grimble look like?
4 foot of hair, muscle, and probably fat from all the beer. Probably smells a bit like a deli. When his family name is Bloodbeard, they're not really exaggerating. He's got a bright red, almost magenta color beard to him. All decked out in very heavy plate armor, with a two-hander sword over his back, and sorry, I'm not used to these ums and ahs. And hammer and shield in his hands, and a big old carry-on bag full of stuff. Like you see a 10-foot bull picking out. Yeah.
How many kneecaps have you broken in the past 3 weeks?
A kneecap a day keeps the doctor in pay. Yes. And his eyes are gonna dart back and forth. They're completely nailed it.
There's 4 other of your crew that have been sort of like the. There's been this sort of pirate leadership aboard the Crawljammer where, someone dies that's the obvious kind of one of the lieutenants in charge, and then another person takes their place, and it seems that's your lot now. And these have been kind of like the lieutenants that have gone off from the crew and gotten things done. This is a newer member, and Giza has probably been on the boat with you up until when you all landed in the swamp, actually, for a while. So you probably know Giza, but what's Giza's deal?
Giza's a bit more of a ruffian, probably, than most of the crew. Has probably slipped out of a few punishments here and there, but he's a thief, but he's the kind who always brings back enough for the rest of the crew. It's that kind of a guy. He's pretty happy, or equal parts anxious, equal parts excited to be having his dwarven compatriot joining the rest of the heroes, as we all were on the adventure proper.
I love his shitty grin that you got on his profile pic.
He's been known to be a sleazy bastard in the past, but he's got a heart of gold. Is to say, a heart of gold he built himself.
All right, and then you have my friend Glenn, who is reprising his role as Jeffica. Yeah. Glenn, go ahead.
Yeah, good old Jeffica. Well, if you've been on the ship for this whole time, you would have seen that originally she was just a plain old human with a intent on either converting everybody or just killing everything in the name of chaos. But as you've come to realize now, she has some pet snakes that had her original human face, and now she has a snake head. It's the face of a snake, and she's slowly turned into a snake. And her personality is slowly changed to more of a all for one for all type thing.
At
she
first,
still wants to get out.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I thought, you know what? We need to change this portrait. But now when I look at her face, I kind of get like a Voldemort-y thing off of it, because it's kind of,
likewise.
So is that kind of the snake person that she is, or is she like full on like snoot, like got the snake snoot and everything?
In 3 more days, it's more of a Voldemort thing now, but in 3 more days, she'll have a full-on, like, Cobra hood and stuff like that going on.
So in 3 days, you gotta send me, like, a Yuan-Ti token or something, because Jessica will have transformed. And also of note, Tanner, there are also 3 giant pythons that slither and follow her around. I hate to tell you this, Glenn, but one of them died last time, actually.
Oh no!
I know one of the Jeffica snakes perished to demons. So these rival demons killed one of your snakes.
Yeah, but to be fair, like it was either your snake or you know, like so. We made a choice.
That's all right, and I had them all named too.
If it's not weird enough that Jessica has the snake face, the snakes have a Jessica face, and they have the face of a beautiful woman, actually.
Wouldn't be DCC without them.
Let's see. And then, man, this guy's story. I don't even know. We're gonna be here a while. This guy.
That's
Where
fine.
do you even start with this guy?
But his nose, most likely.
Eugene, Patrick the Atoned, the World Creature Slayer, and Chosen of Justicia now. He must have that thing, yeah.
He's St. Patrick then.
He's turning into it, although he's friends with the Snake Queen, so I don't know. We'll see how this pans out. Maybe it's like an alternate history, and this is like the beginning of that or something.
Yeah, and he like tamed the snakes, and nowadays Ireland has to like snake people walking around as a protected community.
Well,
you know, it's good to say it. Hello, Toad. Yes, Sarsaglag. Hello.
Yeah. Well, Patrick is a very interesting guy. You know, like he used to be like a merchant. You know, merchant warrior that loots people, then sells this stuff. You know, well, he hated his mother very much. Like she basically sold him, but then he stole a lot of stuff, then bought himself out. And then he stole all the things from his mother, you know, even the boots as well.
To be fair, his mother was kind of a
she was like I mean she sold him. Yeah,
from what you're describing, she sort of had it coming.
Yeah, she was very nice. So so he was like a kind of like that. So like the guy who likes to loot stuff and steal, but he was like neutral. He could like if it fits him, he could just like throw one guy from the ship, with his foot, if need be, like if there would be. No, he didn't, but almost did it. He wanted to do it. Yeah, but then there was a lot of adventures, and we came to this place, a place of chaos, where we had a mission, where we had to retrieve the egg of power. I think that's how it was called.
The yolkless egg upon the plane of law, and it's prison.
Yeah.
Prison.
Yeah. Well, each of the people were met with their deities. Since Patrick was a neutral, so he could kind of met the I don't know what was it, god of neutrality, or I don't know what it was. Anyway, so he kind of everyone wanted to get the egg and bring it to the law god, but he decided to bring it to the god of neutrality. But then he failed, and
he betrayed everybody.
Yeah, he betrayed everybody. Yeah, so. And he was left at the plane where there was an egg that was guarded by law. He spent there a lot of time, I don't know, 60 years or something like that. Then the gods of law met him, and then he decided to. They gave him a choice: either you're gonna stay here for forever, or you're gonna become better. So he decided that. Yeah, that he learned then a magic of law and decided to follow the gods of law. Yeah,
So all happened in a blink of an eye for the rest of us.
yeah. But for him it was like 60 years or something like that. Yeah, and that's why he's now Patrick the Aton. Yeah, then he
and
like
he's an old man wizard. He went from a warrior to being a wizard.
Yeah. After like 60 years, he went insane a little bit. So yeah.
And then
And he hates frogs.
Yeah,
There
frogs. So many frogs. You know, like oh my god, we've been fighting lizards and frogs, and then this just was horrible all the time. You know. Then we turned into snakes. Oh my god, that was horrible as well for a while. And then we have a snake lady here, but she kind of like we got used to her. Yeah.
Get used to. That's that's the okay. I won't recount all the deeds of it. It's hard to, especially the people that've been around a long time. There's been a lot of stuff happen. So Charles' interest or Patrick's interesting, and then Charles the Pinch Pocket, who's also been here since the beginning, I think, but not as the primary character, but with the original bunch of peasants.
That's right. He was part of the starting four to go investigate that keep. Charles is, I would say, not the nicest individual. He's a tax collector, and so he's always looking to maybe grift a little bit off the top, maybe skim some from the side, maybe cull some cream or whatever it might be. But he's pretty down the middle. He treats everybody about the same, kind of crappy. So he'll. But that said, he also has a. I don't know. Patrick, in his current elderly state, is both irritating and amusing, and a bit of a patron and a bit of a mentor or mentee. So he tries to keep an eye out for the old man, and he is generally the first one, along with Uellis, who went to Archon or Angel Deva status. Usually the first one in the front row. Uses a spear of law, even though it feels a little too good for him. But otherwise, he is looking to get a little bit of get a little scratch, but not necessarily screw over the party.
I getcha. I can tell from his mug he's likable despite himself. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, he's if he could be, he aspires to petite bourgeois status, maybe a burgomaster, something along those lines. He needs to line his pockets to make enough.
I don't think anybody likes him, but
I don't. He's not. No, he. I'm not sure he likes. He doesn't like himself too much either. But
despite being like the reluctant cynic, and the kind of like the person constantly talking about wealth and fame, that's like how he comes across. But nonetheless, he's also the guy who you can't tell it under his shirt, but this guy has like transformed into freaking He-Man, and he has.
Well said.
He ripped the throat. He ripped out the throat of a fledgling frog god that was 30 feet tall.
Nice. So he's a Warhammer character then.
He is like
who wandered into this campaign.
Yeah,
it's like
it is actually pretty good.
He's a rude tax collector, but between the world being destroyed and not, he'll tear the throat from a young chaos god and shove it back down.
Yeah, that's actually kind of how it's panned out. So yeah, okay. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Also, he became a boss of the criminal syndicate.
They also are like crime bosses. But sorry.
We don't need to get into that. That's kind of under the covers. We know.
Of course. I'm a little crime syndicate.
All right, yeah. So these are the people. Now Grimble, you only kind of peripherally know these people, but they've been in charge until now. Now they've kind of picked you to be like, all right, well, one of our number perished, and this is how this works, and you're up. So, and now you're the one that has to go and resolve these issues. And so they've told you about their friend dying and giving them a vision of where the part is needed to fix the ship and take back to the stars and escape the never-ending swamp. So you went through this portal. Now you're here in front of this hill. And then, interestingly, having a dwarf with you, right off the bat, Grimble, you offer a skill the others don't have. You can tell, looking at this, that this, let's see. Although the stones that are piled here are natural ones, the slab occupying it is not natural. It's been shaped quickly and poorly and hurriedly with masonry skill. Someone has put the slab in front of this place.
I don't mean to frighten you a lot, but there's something up with this stone right here. It's not natural like the others. Rather hastily put together. Fucking amateurs. He will take a step forward and examine that a bit carefully.
Yeah. It's clear that, first of all, the rock slide is something that was probably maybe a cave-in happened either on purpose or naturally over top of the slab, and then weather and time has caused it to weather away. And the rocks have kind of weathered away to reveal the slab. You can also tell that the slab was placed here in a hurry in the past, a long time ago.
Curious and curious. Perhaps they were trying to keep something out or in. What think it of you?
So this slab is like a capstone to a cave, if I'm understanding?
Yes.
Giza will agree, and he'll kind of, look side to side. Is there any sort of a path leading up to where we are? Is this close to a road or something?
Yeah, so, no. It looks to you as if what you don't see tells you something, that you don't see roads. Other than animal paths, it looks like no one's been here in a very long time. It seems like when this happened, this place was used on purpose in order to be hidden, because no one, you can tell looking around, it looks like no one's been here in a very long time. It looks like the portal put you right here in this odd, hidden place that has not been touched.
Giza kind of taps his head and he says, I wonder if this has been opened before. And this is perhaps the reason why it is so hastily closed, as you have spotted, is because it was... maybe some other travelers like ourselves came by and examined it, and then had to hastily put it back. It just seems odd to me. If this was some place of reverence, then why would it have been put back so sloppily, or sealed so sloppily? That's the only thoughts I have.
Either there's more to the situation than we think, or the people carving the stone were complete amateurs.
I just wonder, maybe there is some kind of mechanism here to open it. Maybe we should search for it. Surely, how did they put that big slab here?
Does it look like we could probably see something like that, right? Does this slab stand away from the rest of the stone? Is there any possibility of a mechanism here?
Do you all climb up onto the rock slide and take a look around to see if you can see any mechanisms or what's around the
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Patrick and Giza, when you climb up on the rocks, they crumble and tumble down around you, but you're able to make it up on the top and you peer down. You're certain, looking at it, that this has been haphazardly placed here to Grimble, this does look like very amateurish work. You could have done better in 5 minutes, probably. And looking around, this is... In fact, it probably makes you mad that people have so disrespected the stones. But...
It's freaking pathetic.
But there is no mechanism anywhere around. In fact, it's clearly just a slab. However, they did take wet mortar and stone and mud, and it looks like they have tried to seal around the edge of the slab. But it's very crude, and you think that you could probably move it if you wanted to.
I don't see why not. Shall we move it, lads? Or perhaps we should get some more information on this from the townstead over there. Perhaps.
I say we give it a crack open. And then if we don't like what we see, let's go talk to those. Let's go find some locals and speak with them.
I doubt the locals would know if this is off the beaten path, unless it's some kind of like local legend. I'd say we're best left to our own devices trying to open it for ourselves.
All right. Especially for Charles and Grimble, it takes some time and some effort, but you're able to crack the crude mortar that has been formed around the edges of it to seal it, and you're able to pull it off, and you feel the rush of old air come into the place, and you can roll it off. You can see that... actually, I'll open it. You can see on the inside that there is a 7-foot high, 4-foot wide stone cavernous tunnel that continues on. The air inside is stale and hasn't been touched in a long time, but it is breathable.
And it's dark in there, right? Pitch black? I'm guessing?
Yeah. Except for the sunlight that's now pouring into the entrance.
Okay, gotcha.
And in fact, I would say probably there's enough light coming in from the light to where you can see the back end of this cavern.
Okay.
Speaking of measuring the cavern, which button do we use to move the map around?
You right-click and hold it, and that...
there we go. Wonderful.
Yeah. And then you can also
Right,
zoom in and out with your mouse wheel.
Oh, that one I got already.
All right.
Giza will take the lead, I suppose, and start taking some light footsteps inside, being very cautious as, the stones before fell out from under our feet. Doesn't seem like we're in any need of a rush, so he certainly won't be in one.
It goes on for about 20 feet before it terminates in a natural cavern about 30 feet wide in diameter. The stone floor here is dusty, and stalactites and stalagmites are dry and cracked inside. A pile of stones, each as flat and wide as a tabletop, lie in a precarious heap near the cave's far end. And from the gaps between these stones, the gleam of golden metal is visible. Suddenly, you hear the sound of rattling bones as large shapes shamble from the gloom, accompanied by an eerie glow of two burning eyes.
I swear to Allah, if it's gonna be like something like a frog, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Snake person skeleton.
Oh my!
Of course. Well, one of them.
Skeleton Minotaur.
Everyone, roll for initiative.
With pleasure.
Why is it always some kind of reptilian? Why always? How many times we killed all the reptilians? We have reptilian ourselves. We killed them, thousands of frogs. Now there's a reptilian skeleton. Wow.
I'll roll for
I
Charles.
probably heard.
Oh, sorry. What were you saying, Glenn?
Oh, I was saying they probably heard that we have the planet killer of frogs over here.
Did I not roll mine?
Sorry, Glenn. Oh, it's very hard. Like it's very, very.
Oh yeah, you're
hard
very
to
faint.
hear
I
you.
think you're. Yeah, I can kind of turn you up. On
Oh,
this
how about
one.
this?
Oh, that's so much better. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah, I
what's
got
the
a
code
hanging
to-
mic. Go ahead.
I'm just curious what the code to a dice roll is.
/roll space 1d dice number, like /roll space 1d20.
Okay.
Patrick got a 9. And then what'd you get, Jeffica? No, so
A 17.
17. So no space. So you'll just do /roll space 1d20.
Well, you don't need to write forge, just /roll and then 1d20.
9.
9. Okay. Grimble. Okay. Charles is able to act first. As soon as these things start to assemble and shamble towards you, Charles jumps forward to try to attack one of them. Let's see. He attacks the ox. It hits. And I need to roll. I think he's up to a D5 now. 3, which I don't think goes off. And then, well, I rolled the 1, but I'll take it. He does 12 points of damage. 12. Okay. And let's see. That makes it Grimble's turn.
Excellent. I will take out. Actually, because hammer and shield are probably already out. How far away are these critters?
They are close.
Alright.
Yeah.
In that case, I'm gonna run on over and give him a good couple of swacks.
All right.
Alright. And they are 10 feet away, 20 feet away?
We'll just use abstraction. So near,
Okay,
close, and far. So they're near. You can do a ranged attack, a melee attack. What you can attack.
Alright, excellent. I'll be hammering down them with a whole bunch of melees. Roll 1d plus. Alright, let's see here. It'll be a shield bash 2, so I'll get to be using the attack roll. 7.
I'll get back to you while you're collecting the. Oh.
Well, that one at least is a hit first, so we got the first attack there. Actually, I'll just copy paste a lot of these. Roll. I can definitely see why you'd prefer 1.
Yeah, it takes a while. It's okay. Patrick, what are you doing while he? And you can go ahead and roll all of it, and the damage, and any crits, and
right.
All that stuff because it's a lot. Patrick, what is Patrick doing?
Patrick gonna look at that snake person and they're gonna say, you know what? Except Jeffica, I prefer those reptilians fried. So take that, and he's gonna cast the scorching ray, and see what he's gonna do. If he's gonna succeed.
And then for shield bash.
And that's plus 5 now, because we're level 5, so it is 23. For 23, he does 3 rays. Each ray does 1d12.
Wow.
Damage plus constant level. And they need to roll DC 15 reflex, otherwise they're gonna catch the fire and they're gonna be doing 1d6
Fails.
damage. Yep, so they, yeah.
And I'm correct in thinking an 18 and a 24 hit?
A 18 and 24 hit, yes. Which one are
Splendid.
you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Which one are you attacking?
That would be the closest undead critter, so I'm assuming the ox, unless the slithering one was closer by.
It would be the ox.
Alright, in that case, the ox is about to eat. 16 points of damage to the face.
Is this a slashing weapon or a piercing?
They are
weapon?
blunt weapons.
Ah, that
It's a
works.
hammer, so he's just hopping up, however far that is, and just bringing that thing down on the top of his head with a loud crunch.
You smash in part of its skull. It shatters. One of the horns goes flying off as one of the eyes, the lights from the eyes, goes out. It turns the remainder of its head to you, glaring its red eye. You have made it very mad.
Good.
All right. You did what? 22 damage to the snake person?
Yep.
Okay. All right. 22 damage to the snake person. You blast a whole half portion off of its tail. And that brings us to the monsters. The first thing that's going to happen with you, Grimble, having smashed off part of this ox-headed skeleton's head, is it turns towards you, and then like you see almost like springs that have held in these bones for ages just spring forth like from its body, and it shudders, as shards of bone splinter off of it. Like a violin string snapping. And then there's all these shards of bone sticking off of it. And it is going to spray those in every direction. Everybody make a fortitude save.
With pleasure.
This is a fortitude save, not a reflex.
Fortitude save, yeah.
Alright.
But I'll see you make a reflex save. Patrick passes.
Yep.
17.
17 passes.
7.
Giza fails. I'll make it for Charles here. Charles fails. What about Jessica?
18.
18 passes. Okay, so it looks like Giza and Charles fail. And so you all take... come on. 4 plus 3 is 7. You each take 3 damage, except Charles and Giza take 7 damage. Okay, let's see. And that is one of its 4 action dice.
Crap.
A worthy challenge.
And with Grimble in front of this thing, it's going to, let's see, it has claws, and you can see its bones begin to snap and fragment into sharp pieces, and then it just starts like flailing its arms. It's used one of its moves to do the shard blast, so it's going to attack twice on you, and it gets a nat 20. Plus does a 13 hit. Does a 13 hit Grimble?
A 13 does not hit. You need a 19 or more.
All right. Let's see. No, what his crit die would be. Hey, what is your crit die, Grimble?
His crit die is 1d20, and it's roll on crit table 4.
Okay, that probably sounds right then. I'll go to crit table 4 instead of level 4 through 5 dwarves. Okay, so, and warriors, level 3 through 4. Okay. This will be a better result than what I was thinking anyway, so. Alright, it says, a hammering blow from this thing's sharded hand drives your nose cartilage into your brain. And you take 9 plus 9 plus, oh, it's just gruesome. 9 plus 4 is 13 plus 1. You take 14 points of damage.
Right.
And you lose 2 points of intelligence.
Permanently or?
Permanently.
Until...
From the big number, as you as your cartilage is driven into your brain, causing permanent brain damage. And then,
I still don't have a negative modifier yet.
I have a few more brains left, actually. And then,
yes. Alright, so 13, so we're gonna go 40, and then minus 12 would be 36.
He has one
28.
attack left. Giza does a 15 plus 3, 18 hit.
Yes, it does.
Okay, does 4 points of damage as he slashes you with one of his claws, and he just becomes like a storm of these claws. He's got 4 arms and stuff spinning around, and that is the ox, the human serpent hybrid, slithers toward Patrick, being threatened by this spellcaster. And
oh my God! Get away from me! Get away from me!
Get away!
Best come over here so I can fight more.
And it's going to try to do a tail sting. Oh wait, no, you chopped off its tail. Nice. All right, so instead it can only do its bony pole arm that it's carrying. You can see that this thing is made out of bones that have been fused together, and then shards of bone sharpened on the other end. It has, 14 plus. Trying to find the stat blocks start to get dense here. It only has 1d20 action die though, thankfully, but that's a 18. Does an 18 hit?
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah.
Okay, but it does fat damage. 4 plus 2, you take 6 points of damage from this thing that slashes into you, and now it's Giza's turn.
Oh boy. Well, Geese is a bit more confident at level 5, but it seems I need to keep him further to the back.
I'm sorry, I missed you, Jessica. You were with Patrick, weren't you? You got a 9, right?
I got a
She should be before me.
What'd you get?
A 17.
How did I'm sorry, I missed you. Jessica, you can act. I apologize.
Yeah, no worries. It's alright. I was just gonna swing my battle axe at the ox.
Alright.
I had a 18, and I did a full 10 points of damage.
Nice. 10 points of damage. You kill the ox.
One shot.
Yeah.
You also have 2 snakes.
Oh yeah, snake. Yeah, they're gonna go after the snake. Skelly.
Misroll, sorry.
Let's see.
Yeah, what's the irony? The snakes are attacking snake.
Okay, that is 15.
15 hits, I think.
Yeah.
15 doesn't hit. Yes.
Okay, then they both hit, and they do 23 points of damage.
23. Okay, you these snakes also just like swarm up this snake bone thing, and one of it just like attaches to the cerebral neck and starts to flail around with its tail like a rope, and then snaps the neck off. The head goes rolling across the floor as the other snake goes into its body and just whips its tail around until it rips its bony rib cage out, and these things stop moving.
Oh, okay.
On my
I know.
nose.
So we see that this place is full of skeletons.
And gold.
And gold. If you can smell it in the gold.
As long as it's not like fool's gold or painted gold, then absolutely he can smell it, and his beard is probably pointing to it.
Or is it like a divine rod?
You hear a dry, whispery voice. Is someone there? Have I been found after all these years? Hello?
How do you respond?
Hello?
Hello? It's this thing.
Hello?
It's covered on Hello?
Yes, someone is here.
Covered on the back end by stones, slabs of stones.
Yeah,
I say
Grimble will
hello.
just walk over and start taking off the stones.
You take off the stones, and it can hear this. You see a coffin, and as it hears these things, it says, "Oh, praise be unto Justicia! Praise to Justicia!" And you see a human-sized casket crafted from orichalcum, a rare golden alloy. And Grimble, you can smell this. I'm sorry, I shouldn't mention that before. It smells amazing to you. You can smell the gold that's inlaid in this orichalcum.
In that case, with his bleeding, bloody nose, he's just gonna go up there and sniff it like it's a fine brandy or a very uncomfortable lady.
Yeah, it smells amazing. It's bound with chains of silvery adamantine as well, and a complex enchanted lock secures a huge chain that is that's all around it.
So I wasn't thinking I'd play him like Yukon Cornelius, but now I'm imagining he's like tasting the silver chain as well.
Yeah, you smell it and taste it, and it's amazing. It is. It's like a fine wine. The surface of the casket is inscribed with profane symbols, and I'm just checking to see if anybody.
Patrick is gonna come and gonna like look at the dwarf, and gonna say, "Yeah, are you sure you're right there? You know, I show like a bone go inside of your head. You know, now you're tasting this and sniffing that coffin."
Never doubt the heavy heads of the dwarven people. This is like the finest of wine to us. This is brilliant, beautiful materials crafted perfectly. This is better than whiskey on Friday nights. Does our world even have Fridays? I assume so.
Presume yes. But anyway, okay, well, and Patrick is gonna go like to the coffin. Hello? I said hello. Who are you?
It takes you. There's 6 of these large stones. You probably have had to remove 3 of them. They're stacked like cordwood on top of the lid. And when you say this, Patrick, he says, "My name is Zugun. I am a devoted servant of the Lady of Law, Justicia. It seems that her servants have sent you to me. I'm such a pitiful condition because of the machinations of chaos. I failed centuries ago. He was a good man, you see. He wasn't always what he became. Phalon, my brother, fell into the arms of chaos and the charms of chaos with that wicked Molon. I strove to turn him from Interpy's crooked path, fighting to thwart his plans, to turn his body and soul to the host of chaos, but I failed. My punishment for standing against my former brother Phalon was imprisonment in this gilded casket you see."
Yeah. How do we know you're not lying? It seems like somebody just, imprison you in this coffin, so when I look at it, they did a very fine job here. Lots of chains with a very sturdy metal, and it looks like he put something evil in this kind of coffin.
I understand your suspicion, but I would doubt the words of a man uttered by someone dead and imprisoned in just such a manner. I can only ask that you believe me. The fate of many lives hangs in the balance. I can't ask you to make this leap of faith, but you will find in a temple of Justicia that my name and accomplishments are recorded in the annals of the faithful that are disseminated to all the temples of Justicia and Aerith. Any major temple of Justicia will have such a thing, and it'll prove that I am in the service of goodness and law. Otherwise, I am simply a stranger asking for trust.
And Patrick is gonna look at Giza. What do you think, my boy? Is it or maybe difficult? Maybe you recognize those symbols. Does it seem like a work of chaos?
It doesn't taste like chaos.
Listen, Phalon, he hid me away in this place so that I would witness slowly his plans coming to fruition across the centuries.
On the inside of a pitch black coffin.
Yes,
Exactly. How can you witness anything like inside of this coffin?
he comes to me. He speaks in my mind. He taunts me. He's done it now for these centuries since Molon and Phalon's hateful crusade of darkness on the land. Whether by the magic of this prison or our friendship from long ago or by his own infernal power, I don't know, but I can still feel his presence in the world. The forces of law did not vanquish the armies of darkness. He remains like a phantom pain in a severed limb, but his power waxes stronger each day.
Right. Well, anyway.
It's clear
Yeah.
to me that your discovery of me is divine. I can see this as a sign of Justicia's hand. The time of Phalon's change is again nigh. I believe you found me because the goddess deems it necessary to stop Phalon and his plan for good. I beg of you, be champions and aid me against Phalon and the rise of a Chaos Lord.
I say we need a minute, and I'm gonna just go to the guy. So what do you think? Should we let him out, or?
Isa puts a hand on Patrick's shoulder and says, "Old man, I have a feeling we can trust this. I have a feeling we can trust the man in there. It's not every day that the servants of chaos go out of their way to, chain up and contain someone. Perhaps he would be a great boon to our own goals."
Let's also keep to effect that there was undead guarding him, so unlikely to be on his side, most like.
I assume there's certainly squabbles within the forces of chaos themselves, but if what the man says is true, which I feel like taking him on his word. I believe him. Giza believes him.
I wonder what those scribbles means on that coffin. Maybe, I don't know. Jessica, you seem like one of the you know about chaos something. Do you understand them?
Oh, I forgot Jessica's a cleric. I apologize. I thought about this, and I she's a cleric. It says that you automatically, like as soon as you see this, you recognize these symbols. These, just like how the holy symbols of law are used to kind of ward and protect people, these are profane symbols of chaos and unholiness that are used to defeat and ward against the holiness of law for the wicked servants of chaos. Whatever these are symbols meant to hold this person in by a malignant aura to prevent his holiness and power to come out.
I suspect we can trust the old man, judging from those symbols. At least to further our own goals. Whether this Morlon or Phalon to get in the way, that's another story. We could definitely get him out of here at least.
Right. So I have this spell, but I'm not sure. Like it's called a runic alphabet. Different.
Jessica can clearly read the symbols, so anything you want to know about the symbols, she knows automatically.
Is there any danger to them? Like for us interacting with it, can we tell?
They radiate a malignant aura, Jessica. However, they're not going to hurt you. However, you can tell that between the magic lock and the chains and the symbols, even the power of a knock spell will not open this. It would take immense skill and elite, the very best skill to be able to remove these chains and to free this person.
By the way,
he's going to be in there a while, a while more.
By
Might be in
the
there.
way, you didn't tell me about the ring. I don't know what
I
it can
apologize.
do or anything. So
Yeah,
I'm just wondering, can I use it like here maybe? Or I don't know what it does really. Like so.
I think I did.
I don't know if it will.
I did go over it, but just briefly, it's true that it gives you +2 to intelligence and personality when you wear it, and it allows you to cast different spells every day.
Can you post it in a Discord that I can update my item description?
Sure. Sorry, that's what I was going to do, and I didn't. I apologize. So I'll do that after the session.
No, it's not.
If I don't, remind me. Be like, hey, I need the description of the ring. It's also in the video at the end of the session last time, though. Oh, wait, no, the recording didn't work. Oh, no. Or did it? Did the recording work last time? There was a boss battle that I had recent. Oh, no, it did. It was Swords and Wizardry. It didn't work. Okay. Yeah, so it's at the end of the video for last week as well. But I will post it as well.
So it says it can fix things, or what can it do?
You get mending, you get a whole bunch of kind of spells just from that ring.
Yeah, if I recall, you get mending to cast with the ring. You get the stat bonuses from it, and it also has the ability to absorb a spell, and then you can recast that absorbed spell later, if I recall.
Can I absorb the spell of the coffin?
Make an intelligence check.
Yeah, so it gives me +2 to intelligence. That means plus 4 in total. Okay.
Plus your existing bonus as well.
Yeah. I mean, I have +2, so it's +4 in total.
So +9 total.
Nope. No. That's even +4. So it's
3 + 9 is 12. Yeah, that passes.
So sorry, why is it +9?
Because for an intelligence check, you add your level too, right? Am I crazy?
Ah.
Or is that just spells?
I think it's
Oh,
just
it's just spells. Oh, my bad. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
That's 9.
Okay.
It's on the 9.
Okay, so it's a 4. Okay, so well, yeah, okay, yeah. You're not sure. You don't know, but I mean, again, Jessica knows, and she can look at this thing and tell that there's no way that you can get this thing off right now. Well, that's not true. It would be extremely, extremely difficult for someone to try to pick this lock and get past it. And no magic is going to do it, short of like a patron bond spell or some kind
Would
of
a crowbar help?
Yeah, no way. Although fair enough. You're like, no magic shall overcome this, and then the dwarf just goes blah and smashes it with a crowbar.
Giza's gonna go up to the coffin and kind of rasp on it a few times and say, "Hello in there. I think we've come to a decision of sorts, but there's just one problem. I don't think you're coming out of that coffin anytime soon. Not because of our own ill will against you, but you're held in there quite sturdily."
Yep. It seems very powerful magic is keeping you there, and we are just some mortals here. We don't have those kind of powers.
I think that even if I were released, the wicked powers that imprison me on the mortal plane would release my spirit into the upper planes, and I would be reckoned with my judgment by the Scions. And I wish not to have that happen until I have seen my task through to the end. I wish to go where Phalon will complete his transformation, or wishes to try. There is only one place where he could accomplish such a thing. I would like for you to bring me there. I know this is so much to ask. I could try to help with what power I have left if I were near him.
It's quite a big coffin. How are we gonna carry you?
It's a person-sized coffin, but it's actually fairly light. It's about 140 pounds, and 2 people carrying it can do so unencumbered, but with the loss of one of their hands because they would be carrying the coffin, presumably by the chains.
Yeah, Patrick is gonna look at the dwarf. Well, it seems you're lively here, so might as well do it. I'm an old man already, so if we're gonna carry this thing, you might as well do it.
Carry the coffin, I will.
Yeah, and Jeffka will help carry it.
Or wait. How about can your snakes do that? Maybe they could carry it.
Yar.
No.
It would be a bumpy
You know
ride.
what? I shouldn't just say no. Like, that's ridiculous as we're playing a game about woman-faced snakes and
Where a dwarf just got his nose caved in and
To his
he can just
skull.
shrug off brain damage and he's like plucking bits of bone from his beard.
and brain matter. And I'm like, no, that's just silly carrying a coffin on top of snakes. You know what? Yes, you can. You can have the snakes carry it if you want. You just let me know what you want to do. I'll
Is that
say
what
one
people want to
person-
do?
One person has to help the snakes because I think it'd just be too unwieldy with 2 snakes. It'd be like a bicycle. It'd just be too, so maybe 2 snakes and
You're
then one
saying
person.
we need
like
more.
a-
You're saying we need more snakes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or no, wait. I have an idea. How we put?
Patrick
how
said,
we-
no, wait. I can work this out.
Yeah, how we put the rope on them and like they could just drag it. Yes. It's made of metal. Nothing gonna happen to him.
So I have notes here. It doesn't specifically say if snakes do it, but I actually I can. It tells me, in fact, what if you. Let's see here. I know the answer is yes because I did read this. I know that you can drag it. Let me find it here.
You're gonna have to make a whole new note with just snakes.
Yeah, I'm gonna call Goodman Games and be like, look, you need an entry in case there's mutant snakes because the adventure doesn't cover that. So it mentions if you drag it. So here's the thing: if you drag it, this thing is gonna bounce and jump and go nuts as you try to drag it across the ground. So you could try to drag it, but you need to create a sled.
All right. I'll help carry it
Something
along
for
with
it
the
to-
freaky snake women.
Okay.
Door should be out in front with a shield held high, not helping to carry a coffin, even if it is a luxuriously, perfectly formed coffin.
Zagoon, he says,
I am not sure where to go, but I feel Phelan's presence in these very hills. He's somewhere miles from here. I know that he's here or he's coming, but I cannot see and I can't guide you, but there's only one place he could go. There's only one thing that could power his transformation into a lord of chaos. The Luhsaal Wheel.
Yeah. You know what? What a coincidence! We actually were looking for it as well.
Praise be. It is clearly divine and appointed by law that we do this.
Well, I guess we have no choice. Yeah. Well, those two Jessica and that. How is he? Grimble or Grimble or what's your nble name? Grimble. Right.
Grimble.
Excuse me. I'm too old to remember those names. Yeah, they will carry you. Just tell us when it's gonna be warm or cold. Or something like that.
Yes.
Yes, I suppose I could do that. I know when we're getting closer to the final confrontation with Phelan.
Well, lads, I suppose we should be off from here. Let's get away from this awful cave. This is like covered in wounds.
Just if we're gonna look around, I think Charles would also look around for sure. Giza would also. Maybe we can find something interesting here.
Yes, can I tell there's more gold?
For sure, Giza's gonna nab that big weapon that the snake skeleton was using.
That's interesting. Yeah, it's a bone polearm that does. Now I'm gonna say, well, I don't know. Do you have proficiency in polearms?
Sure. Let me check. I don't believe so.
But either way it does D10 plus 2 damage.
Wow.
I'm sorry, not plus 2. I'm sorry, no, D10 damage. And then your, strength.
Unfortunately, I am not proficient at it.
Okay, you would be using it with a D16 die as one of your action dice.
Oh. I may actually make pretty good use of that. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you get a bone polearm. I'm looking here. I don't think there's anything else of use. Looking at the bones, they don't seem to have any other use. I will, unless you want to examine the bones of these creatures, I don't think there's anything else in here of note.
Oh. So if we examine the bones...
I shall examine the bones.
Right. Anyone,
bones are the minerals of the human body, you see.
Anyone looking at the bones can make a intelligence check to beat a DC 15.
Actually, not just be looking at the stones. I'll be bringing those bones along with us with Animate Dead.
Oh, in that case, yeah, you do that. Don't you let me be picking through them.
All right.
Snake.
In that case, roll the bones.
Indeed.
Ooh.
I love this game.
That
It
is a
is
good point.
Anyway, Patrick is still gonna examine them, and he's gonna see if it's see if he's gonna.
Not only do I bring this, I bring both undead with us. I can create up to 10 skeletons.
So sorry, go ahead.
Or
Eugene. You were saying.
Okay, go ahead.
Did you roll your D20?
Yeah, I did roll. It's actually like, what is it? It's plus 2, so it's 19.
19. Okay, so you do learn something useful here, even though, and I'll get to the animated skeletons in a second, because your magical, your spells severed the tail from the snake person. Okay. When you look at the bones, you don't see anything really useful, and the power of chaos has gone out of them and apparently gone back into them. We'll get to that in a second. But the tail that's been severed from the serpent human hybrid bones has a stinger at the end of it with and you can still see that it's wet and dripping with a horrible poison inside of it.
Oh, and Patrick is just gonna look. Well, I was lucky actually. They severed its tail. Look at that. It still has poison in it. I mean, we can use it if someone wants to use it. You can use it as a weapon. Or Jessica, it seems you have different plans.
Well, indeed.
And this is separate from that skeleton because you severed it. Just to be clear. Yeah. And what did you get on your intelligence check, Patrick?
19.
19. Okay, with a 19, you look at the stuff inside of it, and you realize this is not poison. Actually, this is the alchemical substance. You recognize it by its smell. You've seen this before. This enfeebles someone, and it's the same thing that you would use for a scroll or a potion to power a ray of enfeeblement spell. And I will say that you have enough to be able to use it once.
Okay, nice. So I can put it like in some kind of vial maybe, and then use it like.
Yeah.
Or or I need to stop someone with that thing, or vial.
You could use it from the stinger. You could just carry the stinger and try to attack somebody with the stinger with a melee attack, or you could carry the stinger and obviously protect the tip of it so it doesn't affect somebody. Or you put the stuff in a vial, whatever you want to do, and you can let me know later. Meanwhile, Jessica, what did you get on your spell? Like, how did it turn out?
25, so I get to raise both of those skeletons.
Okay, you now have an ox-headed barrowbone monster and a human serpent hybrid barrowbone monster.
Nice.
Are they just like under your command now?
They're under my command for 1 month.
Okay, there you go. You now have 2 snake ladies and 2 barrowbone monsters.
Quite a menagerie.
I'll give
we
you.
We can have them carry the coffin.
Oh yeah, and they'll carry the coffin for you. Sure. And they, their eyes light up with a similar chaos magic as your friend Jessica continues to commit crimes against humanity. And
so we have. Am I correct in thinking we've got a chaotic cleric and a lawful magician?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, it used to be more lawful than chaotic, but now it's kind of like 1-to-1 ratio. I think.
This is a combination of both their friends and they put up with it, and also friends of allies of convenience, because like, yes, she's a horrible evil cleric of chaos and evil, but also it's not the evil they're fighting. Because you all are opposing the host of chaos, which are like the chaos gods in charge. And there are these like old chaos gods that are tied to serpents and toads and swampy things. And the
enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah. She comes from the old school of chaos. And the new school is not really a fan of them anyway.
The old school is like primordial deities that want to return things to the swamp, and
Exactly.
new school chaos is bend your soul and your body into shape until you're screaming pincushioned couch for all of eternity.
Yeah, they do weird stuff. That's true.
I get you.
Okay, so all right, now what? Y'all want to head out?
I guess we'll head out if no one has any other.
Sounds good to me.
You head out into them hills, out into the hollers.
Walnut.
There's even a dwarf, although now it's not a dwarf doing it, but you know. And I start dragging this coffin down through the hollers, and let's see, it says.
Thought they were carrying it, all 4 of them.
This is gonna look suspicious to any villagers that catch the sight of us.
Yeah, we'll get there. Yeah. So, yes. Where to even begin? You travel for miles in among the winding road. You eventually you go down a hillside on go down a ridge, and then there's kind of like this valley, and you make it out, across a creek, and then across the creek, finally there's an old abandoned path. It winds its way down in the bottom of the hollers, down towards the smoke that's rising from a village miles away. And you see a village. Now, yes, it would be plain to you that any normal person that sees Jessica in her non-hidden form, and then these bone monsters, and you dragging a coffin, this is probably going to be a problem.
It's alright, guys. You guys can enter the village. Jessica, stay back with everybody.
Gotta find the encounter tables, because we got a hex map
Actually,
now.
before we go in, clerics get a lay on hands ability, right?
Yeah.
Would you be able to at least make my nose look not quite as fucked up? Because if someone walks into town with bone and brain bit where their nose used to be, then there's going to be more than a few questions
sure. What's your alignment?
Neutral.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a success. You get 3 hit dice of healing.
Excellent. Oh wow, 3 hit dice.
Oh, Patrick is gonna look at Jessica. You can actually heal. You don't do people.
It's more of like, yeah, I heal, but I like taking their bodies for what I can first. But he's been helping us, so.
Thank you very much. Alright, his brain may still be fucked for now, but at least his nose isn't quite as ugly.
Yes, might I also sip from your font of divine magical healing? I'm rather messed up myself.
Okay, yeah. More the merrier, right? Alignment
is lawful.
Ooh, okay. Well, it does pass. And that's going to give me a disapproval, but you get 2 hit dice.
I was, yeah, but
Very little. He's still rather hurt, but...
Patrick is gonna say, well, that snake that now you control hit me pretty hard, actually. Maybe you can check my wounds also.
Yeah, you know what? Here you go.
I'm lawful.
Ooh, yep. Another increase, and it passes, and you get a hit dice. Just 1.
That's fine.
Each of these hexes is a mile. I know that usually you wouldn't show the players the hex map, but I don't care just because the art is beautiful and I'm all about sharing art.
Yep.
And we get to do something really special to me, and
Random encounters?
Well, sort of, yes. And among other things, we get to use the journey rules from Dungeon Crawl Classics, which, I mean, how often... Look at this crazy artwork. I should have put that in there. Look at this dude, like, heading toward that hill of skulls. Like, this is great. But, and it says in the journey rules, which this is so underrated anyways, this journeying within a small world, about how, like, probably most of these people have never left a 5 square mile area in their lives and all this kind of stuff, and how the world is so big and threatening. Anyways, you can travel 24 miles a day. I'm going to cut that in half because you are dragging snakes or carrying a coffin around them, so you can go 12 miles a day. That being said, yep. Unless it's affected by terrain. So
Wait, just a minute here. There are 2 skeletons that are carrying that coffin, and they are not getting tired.
And are we having the snakes help them?
Are you having what?
No,
I thought that the skeletons were helping the snakes carry it.
I think 2 skeletons can carry it, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's fair. They're not going to get tired. You're right. I'm gonna, I just was like, this is just, I don't know, the weirdness made me like, even in real life, I'd be like, I gotta slow down, like, I don't know, but no, you're right, like, these things are just gonna be like, yep, let's go, 24 miles, all right, so you can go 24 miles a day, so.
Yeah, they got their Red Bull, they're fine.
Which means that, that being said, it's simple then, each hex is gonna be about a mile, which takes about an hour of walking.
Do the undead get
Over
paid
underneath the
in any
ground.
way? Out of curiosity?
Through the
Charles
glory
got
of
like-
chaos and whatever.
Well,
What's
he's
your
kind of
god,
thinking about
Jessica?
starting a union for the undead, the UOU. He'll probably be the chief steward of that, and as a result, there will be pension deductions that will have to come in from our.
Do you collect union dues as well?
Well, as steward, I would have to. I'd be obligated to. And
He doesn't
since-
like it, but he has to.
Yeah, because being a union, you don't get a
Well,
choice. You have to pay
like I
anyway.
Yeah. So just putting it out there, Charles will probably have to take a good 10% off the top.
All right.
Yeah, they get paid in sand.
Okay, so you see in front of you, I'll say that you've gone this far because you make it to this creek from this hill. So you cross the creek, and I need to make this smaller. It's not working out.
or bigger, or I don't know.
Because I can't see it within the hex, and it takes up more than one hex, so that's not going to work. And then the other thing I need to do is actually get rid of the grid. How do I make it not snap to grid? Identity. Gosh darn it. Well, I'll figure it out later. So it's going to be off the grid a little bit, I'll have to tell you. But you're right here, just across the creek. And you can see ahead of you this path that starts to wind its way down into the base of the Hollers. You can see copse of trees about a mile off in the distance, and this creek that continues on here. You can see that there's a crossroads with even a sign. Where do you go?
What does the sign say, Jinx?
You're about a mile and a half away from the sign.
Oh, gotcha. Let's go towards it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dear Dwarven, I see Grimball.
Let me check my...
Past my own nose, not much, but I will try and read this sign if it's in Common, Dwarven, or Dragonic.
Charles has a spyglass, and so rather than have to walk right on top of it, he'll pop that out and, close one eye and pull a Lord Nelson and kind of look at it and see what the sign may say.
It indicates that this road dissolves. There's nothing out that way. You can tell that, and then there's just a sign pointing this way that says Bent Pine.
He'll pass the spyglass around amongst his companions and relay what he's seen, but if anybody else wants to look for themselves, they can. Feel free.
I am resisting the urge to make a Chris Pine joke given recent events.
Patrick is gonna look at the coffin. So where should we go? Left or right?
Are we to the left? Is that the direction we saw that town earlier? Or do we not see that?
When you were up on the ridge, yes, that was where you saw the house, or the houses and the smoke as well.
Okay.
Do we know the inhabitants to be friendly?
You've never been to the Shudder Mountains. However, you have heard of them. This is in the same part of Aerith that your own little bumpkin village is from, but it is days travel away. But you have heard of this place, but you've never been here.
So no reputation of them being, antithetical to outsiders or anything like that?
Everybody can make an intelligence check to see
Right
if
away.
your former peasants know anything of the Shudder Mountains. Modern game convention.
I know little and care to know even less.
15.
Okay.
18.
So
I have a narrow-minded 5.
Minus 5.
13.
okay, so it looks like Giza, Patrick, and Grimble, and then what did Jeffka get? So Patrick, Grimble.
She got a 5 as well.
All right, Giza, Patrick, and Grimble. You were all, by the way, and this is the case that you all kind of were from the same local area. Most of you from the same village, and then that village started to become attacked by chaos mutants, and then eventually just like you go out with pitchforks and you just attack the castle in force, and that's how your adventures all started. Okay, so you're all from relatively the same area. And you have heard of the Shudder Mountains. You've heard they call themselves the Shud folk down here. And that they are a very prideful and superstitious breed of people. And they're polite to outsiders, but you better be careful. Because if you say something sideways to somebody around here, you're probably talking to somebody else's cousin. And then that cousin, well, he's cousins with somebody else. Everybody's cousins here. So, if you make somebody mad, they ain't gonna like it. And then, also, the Shud folk don't like magic because they're very religious. And they follow something called what is it called? I think it's just called the Judge, if I recall correctly.
Very on the nose for DCC.
Which is like a very monotheistic. They have their Bibles, and they pray to the Judge, and they're very suspicious of them holler spirits and them ghosts and things, and they've got stories of ghosts and stuff, and then they don't like weird stuff, and then you have to gain their trust, but they'll be polite to you. That's kind of what you know about.
So like generally benign. They're not like evil, just maybe sort of prideful and not apt to let people in right away. Is that fair?
Do you ask which way?
Yeah, I'm asking my companions.
Yeah, you ask. Let's see. Patrick, Giza, you know that you've heard rumors that there are holler witches and midwives and people that treat with wood spirits out here, but probably not the common person. But you've heard that there are strange people that are in these hills.
Interesting. Chaps, we know a little bit about these people, and we are at a figurative and literal crossroads. Do we take the road less traveled?
Charles will give you a frosty look at that and say, I'm more apt to go where there's more foot traffic myself, but obviously a vote of the majority will.
We heard about those people, not particularly very likable people. I'd say they hate magic, and that means like we don't go there. I say we shouldn't.
As a group, we are certainly not. I had the word for it a moment ago in my head. We're certainly not presentable for the peculiarities of these folk.
Nay.
No, let's only go to one of their towns if we have to. But at this moment, I say let's go down the other road.
Yeah, and they will probably not like your snakes, Jessica, and those skeleton abominations.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't like that at all. So,
Okay.
Of course.
my.
And we go the road less traveled.
All right. So
Charles will give a lusty harumph and follow everybody.
Lusty haram.
You make it to the intersection and you turn away from Bent Pine and you travel for a couple of hours, and then you get to about right here, and at this, Zagoon says,
I can feel the presence of Phalon growing dimmer. We're going away from the Luhsaal Wheel.
I will simply have to continue going north or trail back around.
Perhaps to the northwest, maybe we can. Gosh, that would take us through the wilderness. If this doesn't lead anywhere, then Giza's of the opinion we should at least travel through the town, follow the road. Because I agree with Ted. I don't think. I think it's pretty dangerous out here.
Charles will put a spyglass to his eye and say, "It looks as if the edge of the map is not far beyond."
Yeah, I can see the end of the world there.
So,
you are the
off in this direction,
are you, Patrick? You are the world ender, if I recall your title.
the trail begins to fade after some time. The woods continue on into other lands, but if you continued off in this direction, there's no doubt that Phalon would obtain the Luhsaal Wheel before you, as you're running out of time.
Well, it seems we have to hurry. I guess there's either we go around the town or we go through it.
Let's just go through it. If we get some nasty looks, it's one thing, but we gotta go get this before Phalon does.
I'm just worried because we have literal skeletons with us.
It's
We
fine.
can have them hide in the woods.
Well, that'll be.
If anyone sees them in the night, then we can just dismiss it as a child's nightmare.
Charles starts going through his baggage. His literal baggage.
Like
Bigger than
like we
baggage.
could cook them up.
He'd be here forever, but he goes through his literal baggage and starts pulling out like some clothing and sizing it up against the skeleton. He finds maybe a hoodie.
Wait. Yeah, what about those robes that we got from the Croaking Fane?
That sounds good too.
You also have robes from the first temple when I think about it.
Yeah, he just starts but layers, like in case somebody gets, suspicious, he wants there to be something underneath the next layer. So sort of like a nesting doll, he starts to dress up the skeletons.
With with the hybrid serpent person's tail severed, you're able to take the tail and tuck it up under this thing, and you end up with these things that are these hulking, like hooded things, not revealing their faces, and then the snakes just coil themselves up in these horrific abominations. You could do the same thing to try to conceal Jessica's face, just her yellow reptilian eyes just barely glowing underneath of a hood. If anyone spends enough time looking at these things, they're definitely going to not be okay with you.
Yeah, no, like a study of them will likely result in,
We can assume that you all do everything reasonable to try to get through this, like scout ahead and then figure out, okay, we got a room and then get them in, or whatever you got to do. We'll assume there will be a chance that you get discovered.
Okay. I'm down for this.
You can also go through the woods.
Sky.
So if you go this way, you'll exit the adventure certainly, but you could also the woods. You could go around. Just to be clear, it's not like you can't. But all right, here we go. It's now been 6 hours. It's 7 hours by the time you make it back to the intersection. You started out very early in the morning, so you can still make it before you run out of daylight, probably. That's 8 hours, 9 hours. You get to here and you start to see a wooded forest, and the road converges with the stream. 10 hours, and it's now 11 hours as you approach the town of Bent Pine.
If I could ask our casters, have we given any thought to a Phalon detection device or some type of way in which we could maybe track our foe and maybe even dog his steps? Anything like that?
Well, to your surprise, we're carrying a coffin, those two skeletons, and there is a Phalon brother who is
He's in the coffin, and he can detect where he is.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And he confirms for you. He says,
"Yes, I can feel that we're getting closer to Phalon in this direction."
And while you're traveling on the road and getting closer to Bent Pine, he asked you, he says,
"What are your tales, heroes? Why have you taken on this sacred quest for the good of all? What grand and good and holy souls carry my coffin into my final fate?"
Shut up! We are going near the town. Shut up!
We'll tell you.
Jeff is the only one who had a tail. I never had a tail.
You gotta play death right now, but we'll tell you everything once we get past the town.
I see what you mean. I see that it is a delicate quest. I'm sure they'll be alarmed at a talking casket. I will be quiet.
Thank you.
You're trying to shush this giant coffin. I'm assuming that you did the best you could. Like, you probably took cloaks and covered all the mad chaos symbols up so that people don't see that. And then these two hulking cloaked figures are carrying this thing.
I mean, what's our story? Are we furniture
Exactly.
movers?
What is your story?
Is this like
this is our cousin who we gotta go bury, but
he has a very specific place that he written in the will, and he wants to be laid to rest, and we're just family members on our way to deliver his final wishes.
You cross,
As the judge
you cross
would,
somebody's
as
front.
the-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, just in, we'll throw in, as decreed by the judge, or like their normal, kind of their local habits and so forth.
You
Good
cross
idea.
somebody's front porch and they ask you these very questions, and he's like, his feet kicked up on the side of his front porch, having a good pipe and some hot coffee, and he's like, "Well, now you ain't some of them conjure men, is you?"
No, mister, no. I'm just a priest, traveling around. We want to bury those people, a friend, and I want to make sure that he's gonna be in peace.
Well, that's mighty kind of you, carrying somebody's coffin all the way down to where they'd be put in the ground. And then the woman next to him is like, she says, "Euless, I don't know. These look like awfully strange folk, but, well, y'all be careful out there in them mountains. There's awful weird critters that come out at night. I've heard."
Thank you, ma'am. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
The judge be with you.
Hopefully he can protect us from those creatures.
As you all pass by, she turns into Euless. "Euless, they look awful strange with them cloaks on and stuff, but I reckon there's just some big people. My cousin's a big person. He can't help it. He got real big like that underneath the cloak, and he has to wear a cloak around." And Euless is like, "Yeah." And she's like, "But they got a good turn to them, so." And anyways, you pass by a front porch, and that's what happens. You come into town.
Oh man. Well, this is gonna be fun.
Bent Pine is a small kind of trading outpost, more than a real village. It seems that your teleportation has actually brought you to the edge of the Shudder Mountains, rather than to their heart. And it seems it has transplanted you deep within the hills. Though many of these hollers still, you can see smoke rising from the hollers where these people have occupied the hills and settled them. And there's only about a dozen buildings here. You've got a smith, a general store, a lumber yard, a tavern, and stable. Every one of them of log construction and roofed with sod. There's a plank building dressed in clapboard and whitewash that occupies the center of the community. Clearly, and I'm sorry, it's not the judge, it's the sovereign. This is obviously a church of the sovereign. It says First Sovereign Church of Bent Pine. And there are shud folk out trading crops and taters and corn and whatnot. And they are all looking at you. You get some stares as you pass. What do?
Patrick is gonna. How much? So is it like evening or something? What's the time, by the way? Like you said.
Yeah, at this point, let's see here. It would be late afternoon.
Oh right. Okay. Yeah. Patrick is gonna come like to maybe. How much do you want for the chapel?
For an apple. Oh, for an apple. Yeah. You see this man here, he leans over, he's like, "Oh, I'm selling apples, 3 copper penny, 6/8 pence.
How about a dozen of them, and maybe you could tell us where we can spend the night. We're here on a mission. You see that coffin? Oh, this poor deceased fellow. He had a wheel that we will bury him in the hills. He was a great man, and we are trying to, make due to his will. Maybe on the way here, it would be nice if we had some place to rest.
Oh, well, we ain't got no inn in here down in Bent Pine. You'd have to make your way back. Let me look at the map. Let's see here. You'd have to make it out of these hollers back down southeast here ways if you wanted to find an inn. There ain't no inn here, but well, and he thinks for a second. And then this old woman rounds the corner. And she says, well, hang on. Who are these people? What is that you're carrying? And she didn't hear the conversation, but he tells her, he says, oh, this is, they're help burying their friend. And she says, well, hang on now. How many days he been already dead?
About, let's see, we've been traveling for a while now. I would say about at least a month.
A month? She takes her Bible out. You can't have a body out of the ground a whole month. Well, he'd probably stinking. In fact, well, he is a stinking, and she probably smells you all, like it's not.
I'd be the dwarf, sorry.
You got weird. You got some choir folk. You got a dwarf hair. And what's going on with these? And points to the figures and cloaks and stuff. And then the man who's trying to sell you apples is like, oh, those are big people. They can't help that. I got a cousin that's a big person. He can't help it.
These fellows here have taken vows of silence until we get our friend on the ground as well.
Vows of silence. She looks in her Bible again, and you can make everybody can make a personality check as you start to gain attention. You have to pass a 12.
I don't want
Ooh.
This will decide whether or not you have a place to stay and food to eat.
All right. Oh.
You one person has to pass, but if everybody fails.
Okay. Who is the highest person in mortality?
I got 15.
15, okay. I have no idea how Jessica got a 15 on this, but
well, she is a cleric of chaos, and we all know there's few things better than the sexy slither of a lady snake. And yes, that is a Simpsons reference if you're curious.
The man who's trying to sell apples turns to the woman and is like, he says, well, now listen here now. These people, they've been on the road a long time. I can see. I think they need a place to rest. And you don't go just throwing the Bible. People come in here, off the road like that. Now, that's not. I don't think the sovereign would like that very much. If you ask me. In fact, I believe there in that book it says you're supposed to help people that are on the road. And she gets all huffy and then she leaves. And he says, if you ain't got no place to stay, you can stay with my family tonight. I'll get you a meal.
Well, just
very kind.
The barn is enough. I mean, we're not looking for anything fancy.
No, you won't be staying in no barn. We'll get you put up in the loft. And he hands you some free apples.
Oh, we will pay for those. Don't worry about it. The money is not a problem.
Now you listen here. You ain't gonna be paying nothing for that. You're visitors here in Bent Pine. And
thank you for your hospitality, sir. We appreciate it very much. And you give truth to the reputation of the Hollers as being hospitable folk and friendly and obviously sovereign fearing. So thank you.
That's kind of you. Well, I got to keep on selling, but you can make your way around here. I'll come get you here this evening. There's a restaurant here in town if you want some food other than just my apples and taters. I'll talk to you soon. And that's the first day of your adventures in the Shudder Mountains. That's where we'll end the session for that.